The night was quiet in a way that almost felt alive, as if the darkness itself was breathing softly over the sleeping town, and in that silence there were whispers faint like secrets traveling through the wind. They came from the old house at the edge of the woods, the one no one dared to enter anymore, the one that carried the memories of laughter now buried under layers of dust and time. Yet tonight something stirred there, something gentle like a sigh of the past. The moonlight spilled through broken windows, painting silver lines on forgotten furniture, and in that fragile light a girl stood. Her name was Alara, her eyes reflecting both wonder and fear as she listened to the soft murmurs that filled the air. She had always heard them since she was a child, those whispers that called her name when no one else did, and though everyone told her they were nothing but imagination, she knew deep inside that the night remembered things that people forgot. She walked slowly, her fingers brushing the cold walls, each step echoing softly across the emptiness of the house. The whispers grew louder, not angry, not frightening, just sorrowful, like a voice that had been waiting too long. She followed him to the staircase where the shadows clung tightly to the corners and the air smelled like rain that had never fallen. She could almost make out words now, her heart beating faster, her breath trembling on the edge of something she did not yet understand. The whispers spoke her name again, Alara, softer this time, and she whispered back, "Who are you?" The air shivered and a faint light flickered near the old piano in the hall. It was the same piano her grandmother once played before she disappeared years ago. No one ever found out what happened to her. Some said she left, others whispered she was taken by the night itself. Alara walked closer, the sound of the keys moving on their own filled the air, playing the same melody she remembered from her childhood, the lullaby her grandmother used to hum when the storms kept her awake. She closed her eyes and let the sound wrap around her like a forgotten embrace. The whispers turned into fragments of memories, voices overlapping, pieces of laughter, tears, and something that felt like goodbye. Alara opened her eyes and saw a faint shape by the piano, a woman dressed in the glow of moonlight, her face gentle and distant as if carved from memory. Alara wanted to run, but her feet stayed rooted. The woman smiled and reached out, her voice soft as the wind through the trees. "You came back," she said. Alara felt tears burning her eyes. "Who are you?" The woman tilted her head, her smile sad. "You already know, child, you just forgot the words." Alara took a step forward, her heart aching with something she couldn't name. The air around them pulsed with quiet sorrow, and the whispers filled every corner of the house like the sound of memories trying to breathe once more. Alara stood still, the sound of the piano fading into the hush of the night. The woman's face glowed softly, her eyes carrying the same warmth Alara remembered from the stories her mother used to tell, stories about a woman who loved the stars and sang to the moon when everyone else slept. Alara whispered, "Grandmother." The word escaped her lips like a forgotten melody, and in that moment the woman's smile deepened, the whispers around them softened, as if bowing in recognition. "I have waited for you," she said, her voice trembling like candlelight in the wind. Alara moved closer, her hand trembling as she reached out, but the woman's form flickered like smoke. "You should not be here, child," the woman murmured. "This house remembers more than it should." Alara shook her head. "I had to come," she said. "The dreams, they keep calling me, and the song, I hear it every night." The woman's eyes darkened. "The night has a way of keeping promises even when it shouldn't," she said. "There are things hidden in its whispers, things you may not want to know." Alara felt the air grow colder, the walls seemed to hum with unseen energy. Her voice small, she asked, "What do they want from me?" The woman turned toward the piano. The melody started again, softer, slower, every note heavy with sorrow. "They want you to listen." The whispers are not only voices, they are memories, echoes of what was lost. The night carries them, so they are not forgotten. Alara listened, and as she did, the room seemed to change. The wallpaper brightened, the dust vanished, and she could see glimpses of life, children laughing, a man sitting by the window, her grandmother playing the piano, time folding upon itself like a dream. The woman looked at her with tears glimmering on her cheek. "We all left something behind here," she said, "something unfinished, and you are the only one who can hear it." Alara felt her chest tighten. "Why me?" "Because you carry the same song in your heart, the same silence in your soul. The whispers come to those who listen." The woman's form wavered again, the light dimming around her. Alara tried to hold on to her, but her hands passed through her like mist. "Wait," Alara cried, "please don't go." The woman smiled gently. "You must finish the song," she said. "Only then will the night rest, only then will we sleep." The room grew darker, shadows rising like waves swallowing the faint moonlight. Alara felt dizzy, her vision spinning. The whispers turned frantic, swirling around her, a thousand voices overlapping, pleading, crying, remembering. She fell to her knees, clutching her head, the sound too heavy to bear, and then suddenly everything went still. She opened her eyes and found herself outside the house, the wind brushing her hair, the the forest silent as if holding its breath. The house stood behind her, quiet and cold as if nothing had happened. She could still hear the faintest echo of the lullaby drifting through the trees. Alara knew it wasn't over. She turned toward the woods where the path disappeared into the dark. The whispers followed her, softer now, leading her somewhere deeper where truth waited beneath the surface of dreams. Part 3. The forest welcomed her with silence, the kind that listens more than it speaks. The moonlight slipped between the branches, painting silver veins on the path ahead. Alara walked slowly, her heart thudding in rhythm with the soft hum that rose from the ground. It was faint, like a pulse deep beneath the earth. The whispers drifted around her, carrying fragments of words she could almost understand: sorrow, love, promises broken and remembered. She followed the sound until she reached a clearing she had never seen before. In its center stood a small pond, its surface still and bright as glass. The air shimmered faintly as if the night itself breathed here. Alara knelt by the water and looked down. Her reflection wavered and shifted, and for a moment she saw not herself but the woman from the house, smiling faintly behind her. 1,000 lights flickered beneath the pond, tiny glowing fragments rising to the surface one by one. Each light carried a whisper, a memory, a piece of a soul. Alara touched the water and the lights gathered around her hand. The melody returned, the same lullaby, but this time it was whole, her grandmother's voice mingling with hers. The sound soft and endless. The whispers grew clearer now, weaving into words: we are the echoes of every story forgotten. We are the voices the night keeps so the world remembers. Alara closed her eyes and began to hum the melody, her voice trembling but true. The lights brightened, swirling around her, forming faces she almost recognized: a child laughing, an old man reading by firelight, lovers holding hands beneath rain, all of them glowing like dreams she had once known. The song rose and the forest swayed as if the trees themselves were breathing with her. The wind carried the sound far across the night, and the whispers turned gentle like sighs of relief. When she opened her eyes, the pond was still again, the lights gone, the whispers quiet. She felt warmth on her face, as if someone had touched her cheek. The woman's voice came softly: you did it, child, the night remembers, and so do we. Alara whispered thank you, but there was no answer, only the gentle rustle of leaves. She stood up, the world around her brighter, softer, as if washed clean. She walked back toward the house, but when she reached the place where it should have been, there was nothing, just an empty field of wildflowers swaying beneath the stars. She smiled faintly, understanding that the house had gone to rest, its memories finally free. The whispers were gone, yet she felt them still inside her, not as voices but as peace. She sat among the flowers, looking up at the sky, and for the first time she heard nothing and everything at once: the quiet heartbeat of the night, the soft music of living, breathing. Remembering, she began to hum again the same lullaby that had carried through generations, and somewhere in the farthest corner of the dark a single whisper answered her, not in sorrow this time but in joy, the past and present blending into a tender stillness. The night wrapped her in its arms, and the stars seemed to whisper back a promise that no memory is ever truly lost, only waiting to be heard once more. And as Alara closed her eyes, she felt the world exhale a gentle breath of peace, and for the first time in a long time the whispers of the night fell silent, in love, not in longing.